Hey everyone, welcome back to Living in Scottsdale, where today we're spilling the tea on why you should absolutely, positively not move to Scottsdale, Arizona. Everyone loves to gush about the good stuff when it comes to moving, but not me. Nope, I'm that brutally honest friend who tells you about your blind date's lazy eye and questionable breath before I even think about mentioning her family's beach house. I want you to have the full scoop. So if you're into getting the real deal, warts and all, stick around, give this video a watch, and if you're still feeling that itch for more, hit that like button and subscribe. All right, let's dive into the top 10 reasons why you should not move to Scottsdale. Our first reason not to move to Scottsdale should come as no surprise. It's our summer heat. So you think you can handle a little heat. Scottsdale says, hold my sunscreen. Imagine waking up in the morning, looking at the weather forecast, and realizing that living here from June through August is basically like being a roasted marshmallow over a bonfire. If the sun had a vendetta against humanity, this is where it would strike. With temperatures casually cruising above 115 degrees, stepping into your car after it's been parked outside is like a hot yoga session. If you've got leather seats, congratulations. You're about to experience the sensation of sitting on a stove. Now let's talk about those utility bills. You think running the air conditioning 24/7 won't add up? Think again. It's like a second car payment, and that's if your AC unit can even keep up with the relentless assault of the desert sun. And it always goes down when you need it most. AC companies kill it in Arizona. And if you're thinking of getting into the great outdoors, like hiking or biking during the summer months, let me tell you a little story about a guy I know who decided to take on Camelback Mountain at high noon. Spoiler alert, he didn't make it to the top. He was airlifted out with a nasty case of heat exhaustion and a $5,000 bill on the way. You may be tough, but you are not tougher than the sun, my friend. And don't even get me started on the sunburns. You think SPF 30 is enough? That's a gamble around here. Nothing less than SPF 50 in my house. People joke about frying eggs on the sidewalk, but out here it's no joke. You can do it. So, unless you've got a deep love for the indoors, or you've got a thing for being perpetually sweaty and slightly singed, Scottsdale summers might not be your cup of iced tea. By the time August rolls around, you'll be booking a trip to San Diego and wondering why on earth you live in the desert. Our next reason not to live in Scottsdale is our cost of living. Scottsdale is where your wallet comes to die. Since 2020, home prices have gone from maybe I can afford this to do I need to sell a kidney? And with these soaring property values come equally delightful property taxes. Awesome if you bought a decade ago. Not so much if you're shopping now. Let's dive a little deeper. First, there's the housing market, which is as volatile as a preteen girl. One year you're on top of the world because your home value's doubled, and the next you're contemplating whether to cash out or hold on for dear life. And renting, good luck finding anything that won't cost you an arm and a leg. Even a modest one-bedroom apartment in Scottsdale will set you back more than you pay for a small house in other parts of the country. But who wants to live in Alabama? It's not uncommon to hear of folks paying over $2,000 a month just for rent, and that's before utilities and all the other hidden costs of living in the desert. Then there's the groceries. Oh, the groceries. Everything is more expensive here, from the organic produce that you think would be cheaper because, it's grown locally, to the basics like milk and eggs. I have a lot of friends that have chickens just to save on eggs. And if you're into healthy eating, brace yourself for some sticker shock. Avocados might as well be priced by the carrot. Do you like to dine out? Forget it. A casual dinner for two at a mid-range restaurant will easily run you $70 to $100. And that's before you've even ordered dessert. You'll find yourself contemplating whether you really need that second drink, or maybe if it's time to start a new diet, like water fasting 4 days a week. And let's not forget about the healthcare costs. Arizona's healthcare system is great, but it isn't exactly known for being the most affordable. And Scottsdale in particular is pricier than most. Need a specialist? Be prepared to fork over a hefty copay. And that's if you can even get an appointment without waiting for a few weeks. So, unless you've got a job lined up or you're independently wealthy, Scottsdale might not be the best place to test your survival skills. Our next reason not to move to Scottsdale is our public transportation options, or lack thereof. Have you ever dreamed of riding on a sticky bus seat while getting an unsolicited anatomy lesson? Welcome to Scottsdale's public transportation. The city bus and light rail are basically mobile adventures in what not to touch. This is a city where you need a car, unless you enjoy long, sweaty walks through a sprawling desert landscape. Scottsdale is the kind of place where if you don't have a car, you're pretty much stuck. Sure, there's a bus system, but it's not exactly efficient. You could be waiting 30 minutes to an hour for a bus that may or may not show up on time. And when it does, let's just say it's not the most luxurious ride. The seats are not clean. The air conditioning is hit or miss, and there's always that one guy who forgot to put on deodorant. Or worse, his pants. Plus, the routes are limited. If you're not near a major street or a popular destination, you're going to have a hard time getting around without a car. Even Uber and Lyft can be hit or miss. Sure, they're readily available most of the time, but during peak hours or events, good luck finding a ride that won't cost you an arm and a leg. And parking? Oh, that'll be $20, please, and good luck finding a spot. You may spend more time circling the block than you actually will doing whatever it was you came to do. And for those of you thinking of biking everywhere, Scottsdale's bike lanes are decent, but do you really want to bike in 115-degree weather? I didn't think so. And here's a little PSA. Do not drink and drive in Scottsdale unless you're eager to have a cool new breathalyzer installed on your steering wheel and pay monthly for the privilege of doing so. Scottsdale PD take DUI enforcement very seriously, as they should, but it's something to keep in mind if you plan on enjoying Scottsdale's nightlife. Trust me, a $50 Uber is way less hassle than finding out what happens next after a DUI in Scottsdale. If you're still hanging on with us, do your future self a favor, smash that like button, and subscribe. I'm Charlie O'Malley, your go-to guy for all things Arizona. I've been living here for 40 years, helping folks just like you buy and sell homes for the last 20. So if you're thinking of making Scottsdale your home, be it tomorrow, next month, or when flying cars are a thing, hit me up. All my contact details are below. Don't be shy, let's chat and make your Scottsdale dreams happen. Now, back to our list. Our next reason not to move to Scottsdale is that nobody is from here. Everyone seems to be a transplant, either fresh out of ASU or recently escaped from California. This city has all the charm of a freshly constructed suburb, minus the history and culture. Let me break it down for you. You'll find a lot of people who came here for the weather, the job opportunities, or just to change the scenery. But what you won't find is a strong sense of community. It's hard to build deep roots when everyone around you is from somewhere else, and could just as easily pack up and leave at any time. Sure, you'll make friends, but it might take a while to find those truly meaningful connections. It's like everyone's waiting to see who's going to stick around before they really invest in relationships. Are you looking for generational family-owned restaurants? Good luck. Unless it's Mexican food, you're not likely to find much in the way of deep-rooted tradition. Scottsdale's as new as it gets, and if you're looking for that old-world vibe, you might want to keep moving. Many of the businesses here are chain stores or restaurants, and while there are some gems scattered throughout, they're few and far between. It's like this whole city was built yesterday, and sometimes it feels like it's just waiting to be torn down and rebuilt again. And let's talk about the nightlife. It's vibrant, sure, but it's also transient. Bars and clubs are full of people who are here for a good time, but not a long time. Everyone seems to be here for a bachelor or bachelorette party or a golf group. Apparently, Scottsdale's the new Vegas. It can be exciting, but can also be exhausting. So if you're looking for stability, a sense of belonging, Scottsdale might not be the place to find it. Our next reason not to move to Scottsdale is we live and die around real estate. If real estate had a social life, Scottsdale would be party central. Seriously, this place runs on property sales. Toss a rock and you'll hit 5 real estate agents, unless you miss and hit a lender, title agent, or someone else in the business. When the market's hot, it's like everyone just won the lottery. But when it tanks, suddenly you can't swing a cat without hitting a for sale sign. Scottsdale's economy is heavily tied to the real estate market, which means it can be a bit of a roller coaster. When the market's up, everyone's happy. The restaurants are full, the stores are busy, and the city feels alive. But when the market takes a downturn, things can get pretty quiet. It's not just the real estate agents who feel the pinch, it's the whole community. Businesses close, jobs suddenly become scarce, and Scottsdale may not seem that glamorous anymore. And here's the thing, Scottsdale is still trying to diversify its economy, but real estate is still king. Other industries are slowly trickling in, but for now, it's all about the houses, baby. It's a city that's constantly growing and changing, which can be exciting, but it also means that stability can be hard to come by. So if you're thinking of moving here, make sure you're ready for the ups and the downs with living in a city that's so heavily reliant on one industry. The next reason not to move to Scottsdale are desert wildlife. Arizona is a place where wildlife has just as much claim to your backyard as you do. Ever wanted to see a coyote catch dinner on the 9th hole? Or perhaps you enjoy fishing scorpions out of your pool filter. Living here means you're just one step away from starring in your own episode of National Geographic. Let me paint you a picture. You're sitting on your patio in North Scottsdale enjoying a nice evening when suddenly you hear a rustling in the bushes. You look over and there it is, a coyote just casually strolling through your yard like it owns the place. Or maybe it's a bobcat sitting on your fence, or even a bear if you live in one of the towns outside of the city. And let's not forget about the rattlesnakes. Oh yes, they're out there, lurking in the brush or just under a boulder, just waiting for the perfect moment to give you a heart attack with their very distinct rattle. But it's not just the big stuff you have to worry about. Scorpions can be a problem, especially in the more rural areas. These little critters are the stuff of nightmares. They're small, they're fast, and they're immune to most pet sprays, and they're incredibly difficult to get rid of once they move in. You could find them in your shoes, in your bed, in your bathtub. It's like they're everywhere. And the worst part, their sting does not tickle. If you're moving to Scottsdale, you might want to invest in monthly pest control, because once the scorpions move in, they're not leaving without a fight. On the bright side, they keep to the less populated areas, but don't be shocked if you find one on your evening stroll. Living in the desert means you're sharing your space with all kinds of creatures. So if you're not a fan of wildlife, Scottsdale may not be the place for you. Our next reason not to move to Scottsdale is our lack of color and change of seasons. Are you dreaming of lush lawns and giant oak trees that turn orange in the fall? Better adjust your expectations. This is the desert, my friend. Maintaining a lawn here is basically a part-time job. And if you've got pets doing their business on it, forget about it. You'll need to rotate lawns like fashion seasons. And don't even think about trying to grow grass in the summer unless you've got a thing for frustration. The reality of landscaping in Scottsdale: if you want a green lawn, be prepared to spend a small fortune on seed, water, fertilizer, and lawn maintenance. And even then, it's a battle you're not likely to win. The desert climate is not kind to grass, and during the summer months, it can be nearly impossible to keep it alive. Most people eventually give up and switch to artificial turf, which, while low maintenance, doesn't quite have the same appeal as the real thing. I do enjoy the smell of fresh cut grass. Do we have trees? Sure, we've got some, but they're mostly desert trees. The native vegetation here is beautiful in its own right, but it's not what most people think of when they imagine a lush green landscape. The trees that do grow here tend to be small, a little more scrubby, with few leaves, once a year bloom, and lots of thorns. And if you're hoping for a colorful autumn with changing leaves, you may be in for a little disappointment. Our version of autumn is more of a dusty brown kind of vibe. The desert has its own unique beauty, but it's definitely not for everyone. Our next reason not to live in Scottsdale is the monotony of our architecture. If you're hoping for a visual feast of architectural diversity, Scottsdale might disappoint you. The city is young by American standards, and it shows. Sure, Frank Lloyd Wright left his mark here, but if you're looking for a charming blend of styles and historic buildings, you'll have to look a little harder for it here. The architecture in Scottsdale tends to be very modern, with lots of clean lines, big windows, and neutral colors. The homes here are beautiful, don't get me wrong, but after a while, they'll start to look the same. It's like the city has a strict dress code for buildings, and anything too colorful or unique gets shown the door. HOAs here love their beige and tan palettes, so don't expect much creative freedom in your home design if you're in an HOA. And then there's the HOAs themselves. These organizations have a lot of power in Scottsdale, and they're not shy about using it. Do you want to paint your house a different color? You're going to need approval first. Thinking of putting up a fence? Make sure it meets the HOA standards. Now, it's great for keeping the neighborhood looking nice and uniform, but it can also feel a bit stifling if you're the type who likes to express yourself through your home. If you want something truly unique in Scottsdale, you might need to go custom, and that means stepping outside of the HOA's iron grip. But that comes with its own set of challenges, not to mention a hefty price tag. So if you're someone who values individuality and creative expression, Scottsdale's architectural monotony might start to feel a little too confining. Our next reason not to move to Scottsdale: tourist season. Scottsdale is where the locals stop going out to dinner and golfing from October through April. This place is a magnet for snowbirds, partiers, and golf enthusiasts. As soon as the weather turns nice, Midwesterners and bachelor parties swarm this city like it's the last weekend of spring break. Let me paint you a picture. You want to enjoy a quiet dinner at your favorite restaurant, but you can't even get a table because the place is packed with tourists. Then, when you finally get seated, the noise level's so high you can't even hear yourself think, let alone have a conversation with the person that you're with. And don't even get me started on the traffic. What used to be a quick drive across town now takes twice as long because the streets are clogged with out-of-towners who don't know where they're going. And it's not just the roads that get crowded. The golf courses, the hiking trails, the shopping centers, everything gets busier during tourist season. Now, it's great for the local economy, we need it, but it can be a real headache for those of us who live here year-round. You find yourself avoiding the most popular spots because you know they'll be overrun with tourists. It's like living in a beautiful paradise that you can't fully enjoy for half the year because everyone else is here enjoying it too. But hey, at least the weather's perfect while you're dodging Minnesotans and waiting an hour for your dinner reservation. And if you're into people watching, Scottsdale's tourist season will not disappoint. You'll see everything from sunburned retirees in Hawaiian shirts to bachelorette parties decked out in matching outfits on party bikes. It's like a never-ending parade of humanity, and it's both entertaining and exhausting. Now on to our final reason not to move to Scottsdale, our cultural homogeneity. If you're after a rich cultural experience, Scottsdale might not be your first pick. It's not exactly a melting pot of diverse backgrounds and histories. The dominant demographics here are white and Hispanic, and while we've got some great art districts, they're not exactly bustling with variety. Lots of Western paintings and turquoise. Scottsdale is a beautiful city, but it can feel a bit homogenous at times. The population here is largely affluent, and while that comes with certain perks like clean streets, well-maintained parks, and excellent schools, it also means that there's a certain sameness to the culture. It's not that there's a lack of diversity per se, but it's not as vibrant and visible as other cities. The art scene is growing, and there's some fantastic galleries and museums here, but it's still a work in progress. Scottsdale's not exactly known for its cultural offerings, and if you're someone who thrives on diversity and new experiences, you might find it a bit lacking. The food scene is getting better, with more international cuisine popping up, but it's still not as varied as you find in a larger city. It's changing, slowly, but don't expect to be blown away by the cultural offerings just yet. And there you have it, the top 10 reasons not to pack your bags for Scottsdale, Arizona. Sure, there are plenty of reasons to love it here too, but if you're looking for a city with seasons, easy public transportation, and a budget-friendly lifestyle, you might want to keep searching. But hey, if you're still tempted, Scottsdale does have its perks. Just be sure you know what you're getting into before you make the move. Remember, I'm Charlie O'Malley, your go-to guy for everything Scottsdale. If you've got any burning questions or you think I've missed something, let me know in the comments below. And let's keep the conversation going. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on your notifications so you never miss an update. Thanks for watching. See you next time.